Perfect time in podcast. Perfect time in podcast studios. My name is Perfect. Here we go, yo.
Investment in public safety effort, and you used it well. You, all of you, have done a tremendous job in your communities putting those resources to work. Using federal money to hire more officers, perfectible, accountable community policing, expanding violence intervention programs to help prevent crime. Folks, you don't always hear about it, but today's violent crime rates are down nationwide, nearly every major category.
The numbers on crime, and they've been going down, but Americans' fear about crime is still quite high. So that's what we want to look at today by the numbers. This is the FBI's quarterly report showing that homicides are down 9.4% across the country. There's a separate database tracking murders, shows a 12.7% decline. Now, violent crime altogether is also down 8%. Property crime down 6.3%. That's the lowest since 1961. Gun assaults are down 5.6%. The only thing really up among the crime stats we're tracking is auto theft. Now it's up considerably, 33.5%. But most of those figures are lower. Even with that, here's what's interesting. There's a Gallup poll that came out recently finding 77% of Americans believe, even though the numbers are down, that crime's getting worse. And if you break that down by political party, here it is. Republicans say, 92% of Republicans say that. Independents are at 78%. Even Democrats, it's a relatively high number, 58%. What are the theories on this? Why is this happening? One of the things people are saying is that even though crime numbers are down, people think it's getting worse because of the way it's covered in traditional media.
20,000 more carjackings, 100 more murders per Democratic city, but crime is not up. My bad. It's social media. That's what's wrong. Social media, not crime, not carjackings, not murder. Back to more stories. Is because over the weekend there were a new the Democrats, because we're in election year and because we want to make the current sitting president look good, the Democrats are walking out these talking points that actually what I said was wrong. Despite the numbers that I presented, despite how you feel, and I'll show in this video that you just watched, the videos upcoming, despite how you feel, despite how you may feel unsafe, despite you seeing carjackings up on the uprise, car theft on the uprise, murder on the uprise, the Democratic talking point is that crime is down. Despite most major capital Democratic cities having the worst crime in 2023 that they had in 20 years, the Democratic talking point is that something's wrong with us, something's wrong with social media, because the numbers say that Biden has done a good job and that crime is overall down. That's why I'm doing the story today, because I want to know from you in the comments, what do you think? We just did a story about Memphis and the crime problem in Memphis and the gang war in Memphis, even being acknowledged by the interim chief. My wife watched the Memphis episode. She said, why is she the interim chief? Because she has, she's getting replaced. They want to replace her because of the failures going on with the police department, and how this crime wave has blossomed under her being chief. So she's interim chief because they're looking at getting rid of her. This should be the same thing in most of these Democratic cities, where we're seeing in New York, Detroit, Memphis, Oakland, record-breaking car theft, record-breaking homicide, highest car theft, highest murder rates in 20 years. But the Dems say that it's down. You can make numbers be whatever. Down from what? Down from 1990, not down from 2017, not down from 2018, not down from 2019. These are the highest numbers that these cities have seen in 20 years, as they tell you that crime is down. So today we're going to dive a little bit deeper, get some
a lot of low-level crimes like carjackings, people, having their stuff stolen.
Particularly here in D.C.
It's really bad. It's really bad. And I think coming out of the pandemic, people just felt like something was off. Homelessness was a big problem here in D.C. and in other cities and other types of. I will say, listening to voters, they think the cities are third world countries. Like, some of this also comes from the political culture right now, where crime is a big issue. Republicans have been talking about it, and it's been I think, talked about in such a hyperbolic way.
By whom? By whom?
Yeah,
One station
by Fox
where he
News.
used to work. They just went on it. It was so. If you went to San Francisco, you're like, what are you talking about?
Really?
This is just. We have problems, but it's not this.
Really?
They just made it into a ratings thing. They just kept saying this and
I think
just
that's
not
true, but I also think there was a carjacking on my street.
Yes,
You know, this yesterday,
Yes,
DC.
yeah.
Okay. This is what's happening right now. This is a real life conversation, not scripted. Yeah, you're saying that it's a narrative. The crime in Memphis is a narrative. The crime in San Francisco. I live in the San Francisco Bay Area. Nobody leaving Oakland and closing Oakland and never coming back again. I'm going to bring up both of those stories. So you're saying that it's not that bad in San Francisco and Oakland, but Dennys, there are no Dennys locations in Oakland anymore because of the crime. And I'm going to bring up that other retailer right now. I am. I'm going to bring up Dennys too. It's going to make this video even.
Years, the restaurant shut down for good, citing concerns over crime. As KTVU's Henry Lee reports, this is just the latest business to close its doors due to the ongoing violence.
The Dennys in Oakland, known for being always open, is now forever closed because of crime concerns. Once again, the chickens have come home to roost.
Just before we get started, I'm gonna let the whole story play, but the Dennys in Oakland are closed. There are not just this one Dennys, all Dennys locations. You can look it up yourself, Google it right now. You can look up this story, KTVU. There are no Dennys locations, period, in Oakland, California because of the crime and the violence. Back to the story. Just so you guys are clear why we're doing this today.
I feel so bad for the city of Oakland because it's like everybody's leaving.
The restaurant closed for good at 1 Wednesday afternoon. Seems like only the chickens will be staying. Denny's officials would not go on camera, but a sign on the
sad.
Jeff Lee visits every Wednesday with his family for the breakfast slams. Now they'll have to go to the Denny's in either Hayward or Emeryville.
I'm a product of the Bay, born and raised, and it saddens me because when I was out of state, I was proud where I'm from, you know, and now I just kind of shudder. I just shake my head because of all the crime going on.
Wow, I did not know that.
Jerry McComb had no idea he had just picked up his very last Super Slam on Hagenberger.
Country potatoes with onions and the bacon. It's overwhelming. It is. Because I've been coming here for years.
Denny's now joins other spots near the airport that have closed, like Black Bear Diner.
It's overwhelming. It is. I've been coming here for years, boss. Country bacon, eggs, and yam. Democrats are saying crime is down. I'm experiencing the uptick in crime. When I did my story about Memphis, you see real life Memphis people, Tennesseans in the comments. Go look at the Memphis video. I'll link it to this. Look at the comment section. You see real life people affected by the crime and the violence and the lack of support from the Memphis Police Department in my comment section. This is not imagined by the American public. It's not just social media. Denny's is not imaginarily leaving. There are no Denny's locations in Oakland anymore. That is not being imagined. So this is the effects. If you say that the crime wave is not real, it's imaginary, the effects of this imaginary crime wave is real. Because real or not, there are no more Denny's, and that is real in Oakland. And there was another business. Play the next video for InNOut, but I'm going to play another couple videos about Oakland. I did Memphis, so now I'm going to show Oakland. Denny's gone and InNOut gone. InNOut joins the list.
Okay, InNOut is out of Oakland, one of California's most popular.
That's it. That's it. You heard it right there first on Perfect Timing Podcast. InNOut is out of Oakland.
One of California's most popular, profitable burger chains is shuttering its Oakland restaurant. Companies saying just not safe enough. NBC Bear's Valina Jones explains how city leaders and other business owners are responding.
The last 6 months, it got crazy. Black Bear Diner closed, Starbucks closed, the restaurant down the street about to close.
And now InNOut is being added to that list of businesses closing their doors along the Hagenberger 98th Avenue corridor. The reason, businesses say, they can't afford to stay open with the level of crime in the area.
Any car that's parked in front of any business gets hit.
Khalil is a restaurant owner. He did not want his face or his business to be identified out of safety concerns, but he tells us his business now closes early and he's thinking about transitioning to strictly online orders if things don't improve.
It's a struggle. The first thing we do, like when you first walk in, we welcome you, and the first thing we ask you, are you a traveler? Do you have any luggage in the car? It's best to take it to your hotel first.
InNOut plans to close their restaurant March 24th, saying in a statement their customers are constantly victimized by armed robberies and break-ins, going on to say this location remains a busy and profitable one for the company, but our top priority must be the safety.
I'll be over there to see you, okay?
Wow, I think that's very jarring for some of my listeners to understand that the company is closing this location despite it being one of the most lucrative employees. The money is not more important than the well-being of the customer and employee. I think InNOut need to be commended for that. Let's continue to listen to this report.
I'm really sorry to hear that.
The subway on 98th permanently closed recently due to crime. The same owner also owns the Chevron property on Hagenberger and is worried he'll have to close another one of his businesses for the same reason. We were in the middle of an interview with Councilmember Treva Reed, who represents the district, when she got that call.
They have been long patient with us, and there is no more patience. They have given us grace, and they want action, and they want to see how and when and where we are going to work with them.
Last March, Raising Cane's closed their dining room because of security concerns. Now many businesses in the same shopping center have also left. OPD has increased patrols and cameras in the area. The agency says it's recently seen a roughly 40% decrease in auto burglaries and theft, but robberies are slightly up.
We need a citywide, robust strategy and a regional strategy partner with that, with everyone at the table and all hands on deck to deliver for us citywide and especially at this corridor.
The mayor plans on working with.
Does that sound imaginary to you? This is City Council in Oakland right now, 2024. No Starbucks, no InNOut. Every major retailer has left San Francisco and Oakland as today. I showed you Memphis. I'm gonna have to do Chicago next. What y'all want to see next? Chicago, New York, as they tell you that the crime wave is imaginary. This is City Council. I showed you City Council in Memphis, the actual senator in Memphis calling to the governor saying the same thing this councilwoman is saying, that we need all hands on deck in these democratic cities and to put together a robust approach to crime and violence because the business leaders are tired. The business leaders are tired and they are leaving. It's the same thing we saw in Memphis. The business leaders are the people who drive politics. Those business leaders have complained to the politicians. Those politicians have said, Senate has said to the governor in Tennessee, you have to do something about the crime in Memphis. You see this here today, right now. Councilwoman saying to the governor, Gavin Newsom, to the mayor, to the leaders in the Democratic Party, you have to do something about the crime in the Oakland, San Francisco Bay Area. It's not enough to say crime is going down 40% when we are experiencing businesses leaving. This is my constituency, lives being affected by what you call an imaginary crime problem. Let's keep going. I got more receipts. I got more videos of Perfect Timing Podcast with the Blast. We're going to keep going. Now, again, I said I'm doing this story because just over the weekend, you had several Democratic pundits coming out saying, looking at the crime numbers, and from their perspective, the Democrats have gone on the offensive and started saying crime is down. Yet, I presented a video to you right before that week. I think it's funny how the YouTubers and the real media on social media, the real journalists are driving what's happening on television. So I do a video about the uptick in violence. I highlight Memphis and the Memphis gang war and the lack of attention that the chief of police is paying to the crime problem. The chief of police goes on record and says, I don't believe we can arrest our way out of this crime problem. Yet and still, the interim chief in Memphis had touted crime numbers of one traffic stop where she arrested over 500 people. I just presented to you several videos about InNOut leaving Oakland. No more InNOut restaurants in Oakland. Dennys closed the doors of its last restaurant in Oakland. Starbucks, Walgreens, Target closed 9 stores in the San Francisco, Oakland Bay Area. Now I'm going to show you a similar initiative, just like the councilwoman was just asking for at one traffic stop. How many stolen cars were recovered? How many arrests? Similar to Memphis. If there is not a crime problem, how could so many arrests be made at one traffic stop? Let's take a look at this video and let's follow up with the receipts. This is the Perfect Timing Podcast with the Blast.
Tied to carjacking rings and gangs. Today, the California governor's office said CHP sting operations have led to the arrests of suspects tied to carjacking rings and gangs in Oakland. In just 1 month, elevated CHP presence in the Oakland area has led to the arrests of 168 suspects, with 360 stolen vehicles recovered and 16 crime-linked firearms successfully seized.
What do you know? You just might be able to arrest yourself out of this problem. What do you know? If police officers are empowered to do their jobs, crime might go down in a realistic way, not in an imaginary way in some of these democratic cities. Oh my goodness, golly gee willikers. If we arrest people, crime might go down. Let's listen.
Individuals arrested for possession of, drugs, guns, stolen property, and then people arrested for outstanding warrants that they had. This began with that surge that was announced about a month ago, involving a high number of CHP personnel that went into the city of Oakland onto city streets, not just on the freeways.
Oakland's mayor reacted on social media saying, "Together we are holding criminal groups accountable and disrupting their networks." 72 CHP officers are currently assigned to the Oakland area.
So just to help you guys understand who may not be familiar with the San Francisco, Oakland Bay Area, you have Oakland police officers, a very esteemed police department. They have something called 100 Black police officers. Very proud of the Oakland Police Department. They do great work. So you have a problem with Democrats were having BLM protests. Oakland got hit hard with defunding the police and shifting that money. The city council shifted like over 35 million other places, and the Oakland PD has been struggling ever since to rehire individuals and to get back to the numbers. I did a story on the violence in Oakland. The numbers are like 700 police officers to 400,000. And we have a problem with not just homicide, but youth homicide in Oakland. So when I'm giving you this background to give you this context of, you have Oakland PD and then you have California Highway Patrol. Those of you who don't live in California, I would create the analogy to a state trooper or something like that. It would be akin to a California Highway Patrol, who typically are on the highways and byways and turnpikes for those of you who don't live in California. So they don't typically they don't typically assist with crime that occurs in the inner city that's not connected to interstate traffic or on the highway traffic, or trafficking on the highway. That's when you may have a conjunction with local PD and the highway patrol. What we're hearing being explained here to bolster my claims about crime being on the rise in democratic cities, actually needing help fighting this uptick in crime, is that the Oakland PD, which is already a great police department, in order to fight the crime wave, has had to enlist the assistance of the California CHIPS famed CHP, and it's working. Congratulations to both of them for working together. I got family in Oakland, and they deserve to live a safe life. Let's keep going.
Enhanced cooperation between law enforcement agencies is solving crimes across the East Bay. Yesterday afternoon, a 2-year-old toddler in the back seat of his mother's car in San Pablo was kidnapped by someone stealing the vehicle on California Avenue.
The mother reported that, she had briefly dropped off an item at a family member's house when the vehicle was taken with the child still inside.
Word went out to multiple agencies, and within 20 minutes,
crime is down, and crime is down. This is why I had to do this story. What do you mean crime is down? I had to do this story from crime is down. And remember the other story we did where they admitted that carjackers was up 20,000. Now somebody carjacked this single mother's car and there's a baby in the back. And you want to argue about perceived crime?
the car was recovered in Richmond with the child still buckled inside, unharmed. Oakland police, using pings from the victim's cell phone, were able to zero in on the suspect in Oakland. A pursuit ensued with 3 women in a car that was stolen from Hayward on March 3rd. The pursuit ended with the arrest of a 35-year-old woman. 2 other women escaped on foot. San Pablo.
March 3rd. Just because, a lot of times people be doing stories like this and they don't get, it'd be like old clips and people will be like, oh, no, that's not right. March 3rd. I want you to Google when Dennys left Oakland. We're talking about February, March 2024. Dennys leaves Oakland. InNOut leaves Oakland. This crime merger of the Oakland PD and CHP to produce these arrests is right now in March of 2024. I just wanted to present that context that this is relevant to this weekend's commentary when the Dems said crime is down.
Nobody likes to have a gun put in their face and their car stolen.
DC in particular did have its highest homicide rate in 26 years in 2023. There's been, I think, a slight improvement.
This is CNN, buddy. Yeah, what are you talking about? She's in denial.
The DC Attorney General say you can't prosecute or arrest your way out of this carjacking problem. Well, I think
in Oakland, where yet another restaurant chain is going to extreme lengths to keep staff and customers safe. Good evening. I'm Elizabeth Cook. Several Taco Bell locations in the city are now closing their dining rooms and switching to drive-through only. Our John Ramos looks into the problems prompting the change.
This Taco Bell on 35th Avenue in Oakland has been robbed 4 times since November. The owners of the franchise have decided that enough is enough.
Today, I'm issuing an AI code red. So I urge you to stop whatever you're doing right now and pay close attention to this brief message. The same indicator.
Plywood still covers the window from 3 weeks ago when robbers used a pickup truck and cable to steal a safe from the Taco Bell at 35th and MacArthur. Of the 4 robberies the store has endured in as many months, 2 of them occurred when the restaurant was open for business. Kimberly Garibe works at the Metro Wireless store across the street.
They just pull up out of nowhere. And it's not like it's only they're robbing the store, they rob everybody in there as well.
Crime is down. What is she talking? Why are you tripping? Crime is down. Did you hear this? They did a smash and grab to get the safe, and then they've ran in the store multiple times and not only robbed the store, but they robbed everybody in the store. This is new heights, but the Dems are telling you crime is down, and it's my fault. It's social media's fault. I'm hyping it up. Not this real experience from March and February of 2024 in Oakland. This is now. This is recent. This is not 2022. This is 2024. March and February in Oakland, real time Memphis, real time in America.
So it's not as safe as how it used to be. It's a lot of crime now.
It's not as safe as it used to be. There's a lot of crime now. Is that not what I said? But the Dems are telling me that I'm wrong, you're wrong, and social media is wrong. I had to present the receipts today. I'm going to give it to you.
With that in mind,
don't
the
give it
owner
to
of
you.
the franchise, a
Don't give
company
it to you.
called Diversified Restaurant Group, has closed the dining rooms at all 4 of their Taco Bells in Oakland, including this one on a crime-ridden section of Hagenberger Road. That leaves a Taco Bell on Telegraph,
Hagenberger,
owned by another company, as the only place people can eat indoors. And that restaurant has gone cashless to try to prevent robberies.
It's sad.
Great day, great show. Thank you guys for tuning in. I started off with, chapped lips, but we here. Thank you guys for tuning in. My name is Perfect. This is the Perfect Timing Podcast Studios. You've been watching the Perfect Timing Podcast. Thank you so much for watching, and y'all have a blessed day. We out. Oh, make sure you click the video link to this video right here, right now. Watch and stay up to date on all of the issues with Fani Willis and Donald Trump, and we'll be back for more.